You're listening to my mom
on the Mommy's Home Office Show.
Okay, Mom. Yes, your turn. Love you. Yeah, push Mommy up.
Aw, thanks, guys. Now go play so I can record this. Welcome to the Mommy's Home Office Podcast, where I pull back the curtains and talk about the realities of starting and running a successful online business from home. I'm your host, Nicole Wynn. Let's do this. You guys, I wanted to take a real quick second to tell you about my Asana training that I have over at mommyshomeoffice.com right on the front page. It is a free behind-the-scenes training to this amazing system that has changed my life. I was crazy, unorganized, and had a million lists everywhere and all my stuff in different places, and I couldn't find anything for home or for my biz life, and I just felt frazzled and scattered all the time. I finally found this amazing free tool called Asana, and it has all my to-do lists in there. It's a very visual board, so it's very easy for me to go into and check off things on the list or make them recurring. It has just really been amazing for me. So I recorded an online training course for it, so you can go on and get my behind the scenes, what's working for me, and hopefully it'll work for you. Best of all, it's free. So go check it out, mommyshomeoffice.com, right on the homepage. Now let's jump into today's interview. Today we are talking with Stacy Brookman. She's a mom of 2 teenage girls and the producer of the Real Life Resilience podcast, where she teaches people just like us how to craft and tell their life stories. Hi, Stacy. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing wonderful. So excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on. I was so excited when I saw your topics in I think we were in the Boss Mom group, and yes. I started reading a little bit about you, and I thought, I've got to have her on. So I like to know how we all got started in this. So tell us how you got started in life storytelling and kind of take us from, were you always an entrepreneur before you had kids, or did that happen afterwards? So tell us about that.
Sure. Well, let me start with today. So right now, I have the Real Life Resilience podcast, and through that and through courses, I help people, especially smart, outwardly confident women who secretly have low self-esteem issues due to an emotionally abusive partner. And I help them take back control and begin to develop that resilience that they need to be themselves again. And I teach them how to do that through telling their life stories. And how I got started in that was, it's been 7 years or so. I was divorcing a sociopath. And I don't bat that word around lightly. He was a true sociopath and definitely out to get me and damage our kids as well. So through that chaotic time, whenever you get a divorce in any case, it's tough. It's chaos. Your mind gets foggy. But when you are trying to fight for your life, he would sneak in and cut the wires on my heater in the middle of winter and call Child Protective Services. I mean, crazy, crazy stuff. When you're in the middle of that, your mind is really in chaos and you're hyper alert. So in the middle of that, I got some birthday money from my parents. I mean, they still did. Even, I'm an adult. My parents still send money.
Mine too.
And I thought, you know what? I am going to take a writing class because I'd always enjoyed writing, but I had never written, anything seriously. And I did. I took a memoir class, and it was the best thing that I could have done for myself. Taking those crazy stories every week, writing down, here's what's happened to me, and bringing them in every Friday and reading them aloud helped me to, number one, see clearer what was happening. There's something that happens in your brain when you take what's happened to you and you have to find words to put down on paper. There are a ton of psychological studies that prove that writing your life stories and writing what's happened to you is incredibly beneficial. It can even boost your immune system. But I didn't know that at the time. I just knew that, okay, I'm clear about who I am, who I want to be. I discovered my life theme wasn't something that I wanted to be. I mean, I thought I was a, professional woman, career woman and things like that. I had no idea that my life theme was not raising my hand. And when I discovered that and looked back through my life, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that is my life theme. but I don't like it. And once I realized that, I was able to change that theme. And so that's what life storytelling has done for me. So since then, I thought everybody should know this. I mean, you don't have to be a writer. This is not your 8th grade English. Nothing. All you have to do is write it down, and you can be so free and so much more resilient and have greater self-esteem and live a more joyful life. You honestly can do that by writing your life stories. And I just had to share it with everybody. So I actually did some research myself, did some studying, and started teaching life story and memoir writing at the local community college. Okay. And from there, I thought, no, more people need to see this. More people need to know about this. If you only knew how beneficial this could be, you would really, just the peace that can come over you when you're writing and getting all that junk out of your head, even if it's in the past, getting that out of your head and onto paper, even if you never, ever intend to publish, it is so beneficial. And so that's when I started putting this online. And in the whole realm of resilience, this is one piece of it. So my podcast, Real Life Resilience, kind of brings together a lot of different resources, people's crazy stories of all different kinds.
I listened to the podcast the other day, and I was shocked at all of the different topics and traumas that these people have been through, and they come out the other side just, they lived through hell and they can tell about it now. So
exactly. So they're messages of hope, because I had one lady that actually wrote an adversity bio. She had so many bad things happen to her. She wrote an adversity bio, and I'm like, I love that.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, and you had kids throughout this whole process.
I did. Yes. And that was, it was stressful going through divorce with a sociopath, but the courts ultimately discovered, that he was a sociopath, and they allowed me to take my girls out of state to be with family. And that was such a blessing. And so I could have that influence on them, that positive influence, help them through this traumatic time, because their family was breaking up. And right now they're 17 and 18, wonderful. They've both had some dips and some really troubling times, teens, etc. But, as a result, but they have weathered this very well, and I'm extremely proud of them. My 18-year-old just went to Japan for a month and a half on her own.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So I'm really proud of how they're coming to be young women.
Well, good. I feel like you were an amazing role model, especially, the entrepreneurial drive that moms can have, and how that makes a positive influence on their daughters and children. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm hoping to be able to show them that they can do whatever they want. It really is true. You can do whatever you want, but you have to work hard. So they see me working hard to do that.
Yep. Okay, so that kind of leads me into the mom story that you just told, leads me into one of the things that when I was researching you and reading about you talk a lot about wanting to move beyond your label. And I kind of took that in and thought about that. And from a mom perspective, I think we really get bogged down with that title of mom. And we even say stuff like, oh, I'm just a mom. If they're stay-at-home moms, they'll say, oh, I'm just a mom. And I hate that. I really hate that for them. And I wanted to see if maybe you could get into, how we could move past our label through this resilience writing.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, there are two things you have to get past. Your own label of yourself. And that's probably the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
For the longest time, and this started in childhood, but for the longest time, like I said, I didn't raise my hand. I was taught to be not seen in any room, not to answer questions, not to be bold enough, not to advocate for myself. I was taught that through lots of different ways. And so that was my label that I had for myself. I'm not able to do anything else, or I'm just, whatever I was at the time, whatever job I held,
right,
and not able to advocate for myself. So that was that internal label. And then there's that external label. And that external label that other people think of you is, I mean, it could be one instance where I'll give you an example. My dad still calls me Speedy. Earlier in my life, I did get a few speeding tickets.
Yep.
in my early 20s. And I'm like, Dad, I haven't sped since I had kids. That's like 18 years ago. Come on. Let me move past that label. So there are those things that other people put on you as labels, but you don't have to accept those. And what writing does is it gets to the very core of who you are, because no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you have done to participate in that, no matter what's been done to you, you have amazing qualities about yourself. And this is writing about yourself, writing about your life stories is one way to discover that.
I agree 100%. And I think even just this podcast, me podcasting and talking about my life just in general, and talking about the things that I do for work and mommy life, and talking about mom guilt when that's always been something I've kind of struggled with, really just getting it out there, it's made it like it doesn't really exist as much anymore as it did before. It's like shining a light in a dark corner that it's not as scary back there when you can look and see.
Exactly. Well, and that's what a lot of people say for people who've gone through some tough life circumstances, and maybe it's a divorce. And, mine was the first divorce of our whole family. So it's not like the divorce is taboo anymore, but still in my family, people hadn't gotten divorced. And I was and I felt like a pariah. It's just being able to write down what's gone on in your head and find words for how you felt, I don't know if your listeners know this, but when you go through traumatic memories, tough life stories, those memories are stored in an actual different part of your brain than regular memories.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. That's similar to what PTSD is like. Those memories can come back at any time with a certain smell, a certain song that comes on the radio. And then let's say you get angry or you get, despondent or whatever. Anything can trigger it. And those memories come flooding back. Instead of just putting it at the back of your mind, trying to forget about it, the most important thing for you to do is write about it, because once it gets out of your brain and onto your paper, those memories can then go back to the place where they need to be, where they're regular memories, and they can fade just like regular memories, and they can't hurt you anymore. And that's the beauty of it. Don't just get over it, write about it, so then you can get over it.
I absolutely love that. I think this is going to be so valuable for our moms out there to hear these things, and just to, I don't know, if there's one homework assignment you could give the moms at home, what would it be?
Well, I would tell them to come to the next webinar.
Okay.
Their words deserve to be heard. Your story deserves to be heard. And I give a webinar every single month. It's called the 4 Simple Proven Methods to Writing the Very First Chapter of Your Life Story in Just 7 Days. So it's really easy to get started. And I give you the tips and tools to go to Chapter 2 and beyond. And it's really simple. And what that does, the first part of it, we help you figure out what your life theme is. And like I said, I thought my life theme was, I'm a professional woman, and, I've got everything together. And that's what the outside world looked at me as. And they thought that's what I was. But deep inside, I was not. I mean, I was in a situation where I had to go to the grocery store in the morning to the bathroom to wash my face because my water was cut off.
Oh.
And then go on to a professional job. I mean, there are lots of different, we all have masks, right? We all put something out for our family and our friends that might be different than what's inside. When you write what's inside, it's okay. Your beauty will come out. And so that's what I would encourage people to do, is just to get started, finding their life theme, and then writing that very first chapter. And you can just take it from there wherever you want.
Oh, that's so exciting. Where can we find that?
That's at stacybrookman.com/webinar.
Great.
And Stacy is spelled Stacy.
Awesome. And I'm also going to put that in the show notes, because I really think this is something that every mom should do, and even take these things, learn these things, and maybe implement them with our kids, because I think they should start writing as well.
Yes, I actually tell people they should get their kids writing. I have one of my podcast episodes, and I have some articles on getting your kids to write their life stories, because it helps them with their future goals. It helps them see the beauty in their own lives, and that's such a boost up on adulthood when they can start doing that at a young age.
Yes.
Is to start writing about their life stories, and so that's wonderful.
That is great. Well, thank you so much, Stacy, for joining us here on the podcast. I think that our moms are just going to totally love this, and I hope that they all go and join your webinar. I'll post those links in the show notes for them. But is there anything else you'd like to say, or is there a way that we can reach you if we're interested in learning more?
Absolutely. Anybody can email me. I respond to my own emails, and that's at Stacy@StacyBrookman.com. And Nicole, I just wanted to say thank you for doing what you're doing. It takes bravery to put out a podcast and put yourself out in the world. And I really appreciate that, because we need more women, more moms to share what they've learned and share their passions. And that's what you're doing.
Thank you, Stacy.
I really hope that you're loving this podcast as much as I am. If you are, please, please, please leave a raving review on iTunes so more moms can find us. Easiest way to get there, mommyshomeoffice.com/iTunes. And just one last thing. Mom, you've got this. Now go kick some ass.